Brenton.
Yo, Arnie, what's up, man?
I have something to tell you.
What are you gonna tell me?
I'm your twin brother.
What, you're saying we're twins?
More than that, we're podcast twins.
We're podcast twins? Oh, man. Oh, Arnie, you just gotta stop, man. You gotta stop, alright? Hey, look, I just got this car. I just sold this car. You know, we should probably go, like, sell it, like, at a pawn shop or something, but plot hole, like, let's just not. Let's just go for a joyride, okay?
Okay, and we can buy myself some new clothes.
Okay, let's go, man.
Brenton, I have something very important to talk to you about today. A topic I think is very relevant given the recent events that have struck our city of Sydney. Floods. Floods, Brenton. What are your thoughts on floods? I'm getting genuine PTSD because we grew up on the Gold Coast, didn't we?
Okay, here's the thing about the Gold Coast.
Okay, you tell
Here's
me.
the thing that no one knows about the Gold Coast. You know, you hear these tourists and they go, I want to go to the Gold Coast, I want to go to the beach, I want to see, I have the humidity, that tropical
The
weather.
sun, the
Just
sand.
take me home to the Gold Coast. Take me home, Gold Coast,
To the Bogans.
place. Too true. But what they don't realise is, yeah, sure, there's some beaches on the Gold Coast. They're quite nice. They're quite enjoyable. The Gold Coast is a swamp.
There's so many
Should
floods.
be called the Gold Swamp.
Could be the flood coast tomorrow. Am I like it?
Oh, hey.
Hey. I don't think it'd be good for tourism though.
Dude, it floods so easily.
It's like literally, it's like a turbulent toddler. Like you just like push it slightly and it just floods. Like
Yes.
you just I don't know what's with it, but like we growing up on the Gold Coast, our school especially was notorious for getting flooded. Right?
It was. At the start of every year, for like when we hit probably, I'd say end of middle school, senior school, there was a few years there that every single, so the school year would begin in January, end of January, correct?
Yes.
And in that period, the Gold Coast would experience a large amount of rainfall.
Yeah, it was just summer rain. Like
I shit you not, usually that first week of school, every year would be cancelled.
yeah, genuinely, because like they're like everywhere's
Why
just
did
flooded.
they bother scheduling it? Like there was just no point. Like every year it would be cancelled and it would be like day one you'd see the email sent out or whatever it was.
That's right. Some people
We'd all
would be on the way to school and they'd have to turn around.
and everyone's like messaging each other on Facebook. We never bothered.
No.
Like as soon as it was like that, and you kind of had the inkling that it might be cancelled,
You just
wouldn't
never
drive
went
to
in the
school.
first
It was
place.
probably all the kids that had just joined the school, and they're like, "Oh, first day at school,
Oh, we
get
get
up
to the
early."
new school.
They get like
It's like apocalyptic, like water world, like
dude, there was literally a road that was like in between like two little hills. And that
Yeah.
was the road to get to school, and it would always flood.
I remember
So-
that. Yeah.
And it wasn't even if you could maybe get into the school through that road, if your car was a four-wheel drive or stuff. It was the fact that like the school would not want to risk that you would drive to school and then not be able to get picked up and come home. Though part of me was always like, that would be kind of awesome to have like
Yeah.
a bunch of kids stuck in a school overnight.
That'd be great. I mean, we did that for the year 2 sleepover. Do you remember that?
We did do that. I remember that, dude. And we like iced cookies and made cookies the next day.
It was
like,
great.
oh,
Because as a
man.
little kid, I'm like, that'd be awesome if we got to go to school at night. I remember at one point, we all slept in the prep classrooms and like we all had like
Yes.
torches and I remember just like flashing it on the
Dude,
walls.
do you remember our talent quest that we did that night?
Oh my God, wow, you're doing a deep cut,
Yeah,
man. Like,
dude.
Yeah, I've not thought about this for a decade.
And everyone had to bring like a toy, like a plush toy, like because
That's right.
Obviously, they were concerned that like the kids need something because there were some kids that had never
like
spent a
7
night
years old.
away
They were
from
still
like
quite young.
from home. There was so they're like, everyone bring a toy and stuff. And I remember my plush toy was fucking Simba from the baby Simba from the Lion King.
Nice.
Shout out to that new trailer, am I right?
Oh, great trailer.
Shot for shot.
Full shot.
Yeah.
But yeah, the floods, man, they were I remember like when we go to school, they eventually erected a plaque where like the floods got the highest.
Dude, yeah, and they
And,
put
like-
the little line and they'd put the date. I think it was 2005 that was the record for a little
like,
while.
the way our school was set up, it was like, imagine like this, listeners, because obviously majority of people, in fact all people don't know our school. So, okay, imagine like a big field, like a big farm field, and then like maybe put some hills on the perimeter of that
Yes.
farm field, right? So around 3 of those 4 walls is a huge hill that spans all the way around, and then just put some white buildings on top of it, and then in the center of all that, just put like a bunch of ovals, and also maybe dig up some underneath of the hills to put some like lunch areas. That's like our school.
By the way, it was all originally a swamp. where there's no hills.
Like they bought swampland and like,
swamp.
this will never flood. It's like, what are you doing?
So all the buildings are kind of on these hills, and then they've gotten to the point where some buildings can't be on the hills, obviously, because the school is becoming too big.
Yeah.
So then they build these buildings that are all elevated by 1 story off the ground.
Yeah.
They have like these weird like kind of pillars that hold all these buildings
and
up.
underneath where you have lunch under that area is where all the floods were.
Yep.
And like I remember coming to school and you would see like kids like literally like with boats like pedaling across the school oval. Like the school like had like it was also near all these like drains and rivers and you'd see like and we eventually had a wetlands and just everything would just be water and we'd always be like, oh, should we just like swim to class? Like should we just all rock up in our togs?
Dude, I always wanted to like have swimming lessons like in the floodwater.
In the oval? Like,
yeah, man.
Which is very dumb to put children in floodwater.
But like you start as a child, you're like, you're imagining, you go, Mr. Mathis, please, just like please take us out. Take us out into the floodwater, yeah.
Yeah. Also in the Gold Coast in general, I remember like just there are so many places that just got flooded. Like I go see a mate, but then their house would just be flooded. It's like, come on. It's like, yeah. Also, do you remember the Brisbane floods back in 2011?
Yeah, dude, that was pretty horrific.
Yeah, God.
And it like didn't really affect the Gold Coast, which was...
No, because there's antagonism between the Gold Coast and Brisbane, and we're like, we're all right down here.
Well, yeah, but I remember
They
that
got
happening.
bad, didn't they?
It was horrific, yeah.
How did you go with the recent Sydney floods? I mean, you're still here, so that's a good sign.
I'm
like...
still alive. Still alive.
Yeah.
It was an interesting time,
wasn't it?
So I live in an area where like lots of trees. When there's high winds and there's lots of storms, obviously, the trees just collapse, man.
Damn.
They just go down. They cross roads. They said that, man, they were going down left, right, and center. I was also the morning that there was that morning that we had basically like a month of rainfall overnight.
That's right, yeah.
And
it's crazy to think about.
It's insane.
Like, yeah.
That morning I'd organised to have breakfast with my lady friend, my girlfriend.
Oh, yes.
And so, we're driving to where we're going to have breakfast. And we had to drive through like these small little, like, the beginnings of like a kind of little flood, like a large puddle, but a bit more than a puddle, a large pool of water. Across like speed bumps and whatnot, and you'd go through these things and you could not see ahead because the water would spray all over the windscreen.
Oh shit, yeah.
So you literally couldn't see in front of you.
At all,
but then also the cars that are driving in the opposite lane towards you are also splashing water onto your windshield.
Well, we're just fucked.
It was the cheapest car wash I ever got, but I nearly died.
Welcome everyone.
Welcome to Classic Movie Banter.
Classic Movie Banter.
Episode number
29. I'm Nathan, and
I'm Nathan's twin. No one knows I exist, but I do exist.
Bathan. And we're here to review movies older than 20 years and let you know if they're worth your time, worth watching, and if they actually are the classics that they're alleged to be.
We also do banter about them.
We do throw some banter around, don't we? Quite literally.
It's funny, because then we decided to name... the name came quite simply from all this. Classic movie banter. You got it, guys? You got it?
You got it?
Let's move on.
All right. Oh. I must say, I loved it when we first came up with our name, because we sat around it for a while, didn't we? Like,
don't tell them that.
Okay. I know, actually, I'll edit this out. Like, it makes us look far less cool.
No, I did enjoy coming up with that name. Yeah.
We're sitting around in my room for ages, just being like, what should we call this thing? And
we should find those lists of like what, and
we
tell you guys what it could have been.
Yeah. We kind of just did like what are some movie words? We just kind of kept on mixing and matching until one of them clicked. And I think I said like out loud the words like classic movie chats, and then like classic movie banter, and then as soon as I said it, we're both like, "Ooh, it's happening!" So Twiins.
Twiins.
I'm gonna pitch you this movie, buddy.
Oh, Twiins released in 1988.
Yes. Oh, it's the reason we're doing this. It's the 30th anniversary today, Brenton.
Oh.
Today it is.
Oh, Arnold.
Arnold. So, happy 30th birthday, Twiins.
Well done, Twiins.
Or is it a happiest birthday? We'll find out.
We'll find out.
Twiins. All right, I'm going to pitch you this movie, buddy. So, it's the late 80s. Welcome to my film studio. We're in the 80s now, Brenton, so I'm dispensing with the cocaine, and instead I'm putting on some Michael Jackson and I'm gonna be moon dancing around the studio, and I've got a mullet, and I've got some very sparkly outfits, and you're raising some eyebrows at me, and you can use some slurs at me because it's the 80s, so that language is less antagonized. And I'm gonna pitch you an idea, Brenton.
Okay.
Imagine, what if Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito were twins?
I'm not seeing it. What?
That's it. That's the whole premise. The movie.
Oh.
What if, like, think about it, Arnold Schwarzenegger, world champion, and Danny DeVito, New York champion, were twins.
Here's all the money. Take as much time as you need.
Hopefully this will make
this
some
film.
money.
It's going to win all the Oscars. Go, buddy. Go.
Hopefully. Because that's literally all the thought we'll put into this film now.
Go. Good pitch, man.
Thank you.
That's probably the best pitch you've done.
Oh, thank
I'd
you.
say.
I think you say this to me every week.
That was the tops, man.
Oh, thank you.
Straight
I think because that quite literally was all the pitch was when Hollywood made this. Like,
dude,
mate,
what do you think of Twiins?
I want you to lead this.
So when you say like,
I've seen
when
this,
you say
should we give a story actually? Because like,
sure, man,
as to why this is on the list. Because obviously it's an sorry, I completely
no. You go. It's all good.
Because the reason it's on this list is that I've seen this before. Brenton hasn't, and obviously it's the anniversary, so it's a good time to do it. But I saw this film once when I was a child. I think I was like 11 or something like that. And this is the first movie I ever saw where there was an obvious like kind of sex scene. And I was in Byron Bay, and my family were all out that night, and I don't know why, but I was left at home by myself, and I just turned on Aussie TV, just on one of the random channels, and this happened to be playing. It was maybe like already 20 minutes through the film, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of funny, I'll stick around. And then like, this is so not a spoiler, because like, there's a scene where two characters kind of have sex, but you don't really see anything, but like, they just do. It's the first movie I'd ever saw that, where like, it's very obviously insinuated they slept together, because my parents, as I've mentioned on this podcast, never let me watch M-rated films or anything like that. And I was like, whoa, this is intense, like, whoa. And then like, immediately after that scene, my family all came home. And like, they saw the two characters just lying together, and I'm like, Nathan, what have you been watching? I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. So that's why it's on the list, because I want to see how Brenton not just reacts to that scene, but to this movie. Brenton, what do you think?
So if I'm you've just pitched me this film,
mm-hmm.
I'm going to give you all the money you want to make this. You know, they don't make movies like this anymore.
Don't they? No,
they don't. They don't get you The Rock, and they don't get, I don't know, Martin Freeman, and they say, you guys are twins. They don't do it.
They can't do it, frankly, these days.
They don't do it. I wish they did.
Oh, don't you?
This represents a cinematic masterpiece. It breaks all the rules.
Doesn't it?
It breaks all the rules of cinematic tradition. And yet, it paves the way for movies that are so terrible that they are so joyfully wonderful at the same time.
Aren't they?
This film evoked emotions in me I wasn't expecting.
It stirred something in you, Brenton?
It did.
It did.
It did. Nathan. It did. This is Twiins with two eyes. And
isn't it?
And it is.
Oh, it's so stupid.
Incredible.
It's amazing, isn't it? It's like, it's...
Nathan, thank you. Thank you for bringing this to Classic Movie Banter.
You're welcome. Because you were not keen for this film, were you?
Danny DeVito should have won all the awards.
Oh, shouldn't he? It's funny because they're just playing themselves, aren't they? Like,
oh my god, it's. What is there more to say?
It's funny because the plot of this movie is that it's basically Arnold Schwarzenegger just coming. You know, they've been separated, both him and Danny DeVito, and Arnold Schwarzenegger wants to reunite with Danny DeVito at LA. Like, Arnold Schwarzenegger's like this perfect god.
Don't spoil it. Just
oh, okay.
It's just Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger are twins.
I'll ignore me then, listeners.
But there was a genetic experiment involved. That's the plot.
They're also not identical twins. Oh, the movie doesn't pretend they're identical twins.
No.
But it's kind of like an oddball comedy where it's like, he's the goofy one and he's the straight man. And it's like, they're gonna solve a thing together. It's like...
And yes, and it's
great. I'm a huge...
Let's talk about Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. Arnold Schwarzenegger. From going from Predator to this, like...
There's no change.
There is literally no change. It's funny because he plays this like naive kind of like a simple man, like almost like a child actually.
He does, yeah.
Where like he's supposed to be 35 in this film, and he's just like walking around LA, and you know he almost gets mugged, but then he stops it.
Is Danny DeVito meant to be 35 as well?
Yes, I know. That's what actually even funnier. They're both meant to be the exact same age. They're twins. Like, it's so funny.
It's incredible.
It's so stupid. I think this is the I think this is the film that started this is like the most 90s film I've seen from the 80s, where it's like it started that trend of like high concept, dumb idea films that just made all this money.
What came first? Was it this film, or was it the one where Arnie plays the person that's pregnant?
Junior, that's 1994. That's a little bit later.
Wow.
Because that also has Danny DeVito. And
Yeah,
was
right.
directed by Ivan Reitman. Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like it's just brilliant.
It's just
do
dumbest
Hollywood.
ideas.
Do this.
Could
Do
you
it.
imagine a major studio in 2018 just like having an idea like this? The closest thing I've seen to it maybe these days is like Sausage Party,
Yes.
where it's just like the most dumb fucking idea you think of that they spend tens of millions of dollars on, and it just works.
But all the people are still going for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not just phoning it in and grabbing the quick buck. It's
No.
like Danny DeVito is actually giving a performance.
He is actually. He's genuinely trying. Like
It's craziness.
it's absolute craziness.
It shouldn't be as good as it is,
No,
but it is.
but it is.
And it's at the same time woefully terrible.
It is very terrible, and it's terrible for a couple reasons. Like, I think my biggest criticism for this film is that it feels like it's got two separate movies in one. Because there's the plot where Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger are trying to, reconcile as brothers. So, like, he's teaching them how to dress, and he's teaching them how to pick up girls and all that kind of stuff. And it's like this weird kind of comedy. But then it always hard cuts to this B storyline about this, like, assassin and about this thriller about, like, money espionage and, like...
There's a point that it got dark.
Yeah,
It got
really
real dark, and then it hard cut to something that was real happy. And I was just
Yeah.
like, I don't know how to feel about this,
It's so tonally inconsistent, isn't it?
but it's wonderful.
It's wonderful. It's really,
It's
really
so
wonderful.
wonderful.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is fantastic. I love Brent in this film. He's dressed mostly in a blazer and then shorts
I love it. And long socks.
and long socks. Like
With, I think, is he wearing Ray-Bans? Oh, no, he's not.
He's got the black sunglasses on at one point. Like,
Oh, what has he got? They're kind of like booty dress shoes. I don't know.
yeah. There might even be runners or something like that, like sneakers. But
It's
like,
wonderful.
His look is fantastic, and even when he wears that other T-shirt later on in the film, like
way-
with this,
The way his hair is parted.
he just looks so vacant.
Oh,
And it's beautiful, and I love it. If you want to play a drinking game with this film, I'd recommend you have a drink every time Arnold says, "We're twins," because he says it so
it's
enthusiastically.
okay. We're twins.
He just and like bless him, he looks as though he's trying so hard in this movie.
He looks like he's having the time of his life.
doesn't he? Like
Yeah.
I think that joy is contagious in the movie.
Yes.
Like yeah.
Agreed.
And also, it doesn't make sense because his origin story is quite weird. I don't think this is a huge major spoiler, but like he has the same origin story as Captain America. Like when this film opened, I was like, am I watching the first Captain America? Because it literally cuts to that German lab where like they're all doing experiments on him, but like there's like 6 fathers, and I'm like, this is a little bit weird. But then, also he grows up on this island by himself, but for some reason he has an Austrian accent. Like, does that make sense?
I noticed that he's the head scientist had an accent as well.
Ah,
I think that's how they justified it.
So if
But
he's an
it's
accent,
still-
Arnold has an accent.
It's still random.
Yeah, I think it's just something you have to try and ignore.
Danny DeVito.
Oh, he's doing a great job, isn't he?
He's doing a great job. He brings the gravitas to this film.
doesn't he?
He brings some dramatic moments.
You feel
to this
sorry
film.
for him, don't you?
Oh man, there was a couple moments that he had me, and I was going, Danny DeVito, you didn't have to give us this performance.
No,
but you
really
did,
didn't.
and we thank you for it.
But he's really down on his luck, and you actually really feel sorry for him because he was like the genetic offspring for this experiment, and like you just feel like really, really bad for him.
Yeah,
I love that.
and at the same time, he's a horrible person.
He is very, very
Yeah.
horrible. He's like really misogynistic, like really sexist.
Yeah,
like,
dude. There's a lot of like, out of everything that's like the most outdated thing in this film is the the misogynistic elements in it.
It's such a misogynistic film because like the women in this film have absolutely nothing to do. There's like they fail the Bechdel test like spectacularly.
They literally just come along.
They're only there as love interests. They're only there for them to sleep with. Like it's just it's insulting, frankly. Like, and also like the receptionist that he has. Like Danny DeVito at one point you go see his office and like they just take the furniture and he's just like all down the dumps and he has this weird receptionist who's dressed like she's like a porcelain doll. Like she's got this weird green nightdress on that looks horrendous, and then he just like kisses her smack bam on the lips and then like slaps her ass.
Yeah, she gives him cologne, I believe, and then he for his birthday, and then he grabs her and plants one on her.
It's just so creepy. It's like it doesn't hold up at all. Even 1998, I would have been sitting in that audience going, "God, that's disgusting." Like maybe you're supposed to feel that because Danny DeVito is kind of disgusting.
I think he is, yeah, but. Yeah,
but he's enduring. Like I love his little car. I love how in the opening scene when you first see him, he's like shaving as he runs away.
Oh my god, with
like,
that electric
he rolls
shaver.
out the roof. Like
yes,
I'm like, dude, what are you doing shaving while you're running? That's a hazard. Like
yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm just going through this film now. It's a funny one to talk about because we're gonna have fun in the spoiler section.
We're gonna have a lot of fun because
But talking in terms of non-spoilers, it's like we've said. Yeah, there's two random storylines that are kind of they're very separate.
Do you like the plot?
Sorry?
Do you like the plot?
There isn't really a plot.
There isn't really a plot, is there? No,
because there's no, and in terms of character development, there's not really any character development, if that makes sense.
Danny DeVito kind of changes, but
there's no real arc to it. Like they change, but what's the reason they're changing?
There's moments I don't know why they're changing,
but I don't care at the same time.
They have like nice little moments, like they do kind of reconcile, and like there's this theme of family, but like I don't know what I've learned from this film or like what.
And I don't think I need to. Again, it's called Twiins with two eyes. It's It's so enjoyable. I was honestly shocked about how much I enjoyed myself.
Were you really? Yeah.
Yeah, because I wasn't going into this. I wasn't totally psyched. I was expecting this to be absolute trash, to be, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
And that it was bad, but it wasn't like an enjoyable bad. It was just kind of like, I was worried that I was going to get sick of this movie.
Oh, okay.
And I felt it got better as it went on.
It does get a lot better like, the more you stick with it. I definitely agree on that. Because also I think at the end it does pack maybe a little bit of an emotional wallop.
I totally agree. Yeah.
It actually earns its stripes by the end of it.
Yeah.
But like, especially the start of it, I think the movie really doesn't know what it is and it's just trying to make fun of the joke.
At the same time, this is such a confusing movie because I genuinely, I don't understand how it gives you that emotional wallop. No. Maybe it's the performances, the talent of DeVito.
I think the glue is Arnold and Danny. I think that's the only reason this film works is just the two of them.
Because like we were saying with the plot, it's bare bones. It's not.
It's kind of cliche as well.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't.
It's sloppy. Nothing's really smart in terms of those plot devices they're using and how they implement them.
None of it really works together. Like the two main plots just don't work side by side.
But it works still. Like it's confusing me, and I love that it's confusing. And for once, this is one of those movies that truly, like, I just feel like I've honestly become brain dead. But in the best possible way. Like, I'm not worried about analysing this.
You just, this is not a film that you would apply criticism to. It's
but that's okay.
There's no themes or motifs or like anything like that.
It's literally dumb fun. But still, there's an element of it that's smart.
But you say it's dumb fun. I don't think this is dumb fun in the way that Predator or Blade was dumb fun.
No.
I think it's more just about, like, because there's no real action in this. In fact, there's very poor action in this. Like, really shittily directed action in this. There's a couple of cool stunts we'll talk about in spoilers, but like, yeah, it's just, I don't know why this film exists, frankly, beyond the premise. Like, I feel like this could have been an SNL skit, like the two of them. Like, it could have just been a quick 5-minute like gag about what if we were twins, and they make a little.
But aren't you glad that this is a movie? That this exists?
I'm glad it exists.
Exactly,
I just don't know why it exists.
Again, I feel like the more questions you ask, the more I realize that those questions aren't necessarily a detriment to your experience. But
not.
Just don't bother asking them.
Nor was I nitpicking that much in this film.
No, I know, but there's plenty to nitpick about.
There is plenty, but you just don't care, because I think the film just doesn't care, frankly. Like,
I don't know how they do it. I genuinely don't know how they achieve this.
No. But I don't know. And you know what? This is why we do this podcast in the first place. Because films like this just don't exist these days.
Exactly.
they just don't. And if they do, they're just nowhere near as fun as this, frankly. Like, the film is just so unabashedly. It's also very 80s. Very, 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 very 80s.
Yep.
Like, the
that
soundtrack
is terribly awesome.
Oh, it's like...
It's sick. Hey, it's sickeningly sweet.
Yeah, exactly. And the way that probably Land Before Time was trying to. It's like...
Yeah.
It's like that very, like...
But there ain't no fucking ducky here.
Oh, there ain't... nope. It's like... Yeah. I also love that Danny DeVito is kind of playing the same guy he is in Matilda. Like,
True,
there's huge similarities because they're both car dealers. Well, they both, like, steal cars, and they both have a weird relationship with cars. And, like...
They've both got very similar hairdos.
Very similar hairdos. They're kind of the same character in their mannerisms. Like, I want to pretend this exists as a sequel to Matilda.
Yeah,
Like, as soon as Matilda moved... Spoilers for Matilda. As soon as she moves in with the teacher, like, he suddenly leaves his family, then moves into LA.
Oh my god.
And then suddenly becomes this.
I feel like it'd be more fun if Twiins happened first, before Matilda. And we'll talk about how that works maybe in spoiler section.
Yeah, we'll talk about that then, yeah.
But man...
Should we
I'm
rate
gonna
it?
rate this film.
Alright, buddy. What are you rating it?
Ripping that band-aid off. There it goes in the pile. Oh, that wound is revealed.
Oh.
And it's healed. Because I'm giving this a thumbs up.
A thumbs up.
Two eyes, 2 thumbs up.
two U's.
Yeah.
Thumbs.
Nathan, what are you giving the Twiins?
Would I recommend this to people on a Thursday night? See, you're nodding at me, Brenton, very coyly.
I'm nodding, but I'm also shaking my head.
I like this film. I don't think I can recommend this film, Brenton. I love it to death, and like...
Hang on. Hang on. Here's my last argument.
Okay.
My last
This is you swaying me, I can see.
To sway you.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that we both like this movie is a fucking miracle.
Actually, that's very true.
It's a miracle. Coming out of this movie, I thought the exact same thing. That I enjoyed this for what it was, but probably no one else would. But then I kept thinking about it. And I was thinking, I enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed this movie.
That's so true.
Someone that...
If you can say no to Rocky 1, like, how can you say, like...
Exactly, Nathan. I want to give Twiins the 2 eyes. I want to give it. I want to give
Your
it
2 eyes.
I want to give no both of our
eyes,
both of our souls to this film. I want people to know that CMB, Classic Movie Banter.
It said yes.
It was
in the face of adversity.
It was an all-around appraisal, so that people go, "That Twiins, there must be something about it," you know. And they'll watch it, and I think anyone can enjoy this. There's also, like, because even if you don't enjoy it, I still think you're gonna have a laugh.
Okay, I'll concede. I will say yes, but I'm saying it with an asterisk, okay? Asterisk.
Okay.
I'll say yes. I will say yes, I recommend this film, Brendan.
Oh my God.
Brendan's like slowly just like orgasming on the bed right now. I'll say yes, but in with that, I'm going to recommend it to a very specific crowd because I don't think it's a family film. I don't think it's like a partner, like something to watch with your boyfriend or girlfriend film.
No.
I think this is a film that you get a bunch of mates around, you get wildly drunk, and you have some chips, and you're having some shit talk, some shit banter, as it will, and you just decide to put this film on and you give it a watch, and you're kind of half focused on what's going on. You don't really have to pay attention that much to it. That kind of night, I recommend this film.
Nathan, you're a legend.
Thank you, Renton. Thank you.
You're a legend. And thanks for hearing me out, you know. But
yeah, what else am I going to do? Just shut
turn
you
off my mic.
No, we must spoil everything now.
And we must.
We must.
We must spoil it. Spoilers, nothing but spoilers, nothing but spoilers. Spoil Twiins with 2 eyes for some reason.
It's like spoil, but with 2 eyes. Okay, for the caption, I'm so going to write that. Every word with 2 eyes.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
And listeners, guys, listeners, it is not a mistake. It is never a mistake.
It's very
the 2 eyes.
When you scroll down through like the time codes that I put in this episode, you'll see eyes just everywhere.
What an incredible opening to this film. So many shots of babies. So many shots of babies.
You Snapchatted me a great frame, by the way.
So in terms of the the title credits
Yes.
at the start of this film.
It's pretty good.
The way that it introduces its two lead actors is that it's got a shot which is two nurses holding two babies, and it's like it's not a freeze frame. It's just a shot that lingers on these two nurses holding these two babies, with the titles of
Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito
over them.
It's what a great introduction. Like,
it's one of the best shots ever.
it's pretty fucking funny, frankly. Like,
oh my god, yeah. The opening narration is truly terrible. It's awful. Like, because it has to, it has to get through all that.
There's a lot of exposition. It's like there were 6 men and they all came in an orgy with this girl, but she's dead now, maybe. And then
he's Arnold on an island, and now he's rowing to the shore to the mainland, and he's gonna find his brother.
That was a great shot of Arnie on the boat, by the way.
Oh my god, it was perfect. No, one of my favorite moment from that opening prologue was when it was like he honed his skills, and he has like a sensei that's like teaching him some form of martial art.
Yeah,
and he goes, huh, and the sensei goes to hit him, and Arnold has a quick response and blocks the strike. I want everyone to pause the film on that moment where Arnold blocks that strike.
His face
through this whole movie, dude.
Oh, okay, let's talk about Arnold's face. Because
yes,
one of my favorite faces, probably the favorite face that he pulls in this is when he loses his virginity. Like, that whole scene where the girlfriend comes over and, they're in the hotel just waiting for them, to come over. Maybe we should tell you what the plot is, people who stuck around, they haven't watched the movie. So, because there's the whole, Danny DeVito's, stolen a car that's got a thing in it that apparently this assassin wants, so they, go across the country to, meet the parents, but then he's also got the assassin's valuable thing, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So they stop in this hostel, and then this chick who wants to fuck Arnold, they have a big night out dancing, and they all get pretty drunk, and then they come back, and then she's on the bed just having her ass out, and Arnold's like, nope, I'm gonna be sleeping on the floor, and then she crawls over him, and she's like, and he's like, are you teasing me? And she's like, yes, I am.
It was, are you teaching me? I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
are you teaching me how to have sexual intercourse? It's like, well, not really.
No, frankly, no.
You know, those books that they have kids for kids in year 5. That this is how this all works and how babies are conceived and whatnot.
Yeah,
it's like, yes, I am here to teach you.
She whips one out of her handbag.
She whips one of those out of her nightie, and it's just like, let's read.
So when a guy likes a girl a lot, but anyway, so they finish the sex, and then the camera pans, and she's smoking a cigarette, and then it finds Arnold's face, and he's like, he pulls the most dumb, stoned out of his mind face.
Oh my god,
it's so great.
I kind of disliked that moment at the same time though, because it was so obvious. But it was still Arnold. It was a great face you pulled.
It's
well done,
great.
mate.
He just has amazing moments throughout this movie. I love it. I love it when he says, "I'll be back." Did you pick that up?
Oh my god, there was a couple cameo kind of things. That was a nod to obviously
Terminator and stuff.
Yeah, the other moment, did you notice the nod to Rocky? Our Rocky.
Yeah. No, that was Rambo, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Rambo, but I'm just saying Rocky for the
sake.
our
listeners, because there's still
Sylvester Stallone as Rambo is on this painted on this wall that that Arnold then comes and stands in front of. He then flexes his own muscles and points to his own muscles and then references Rambo's and then chuckles to himself and walks away.
That's such a dig at Sylvester Stallone, isn't it?
It's wonderful.
That's the only reason it's in the movie, just beautiful. To piss off Sylvester Stallone.
It's beautiful. Question, have they done a film together?
Expendables.
Yeah, I was going to say it was The Expendables.
Expendables? Oh my god, I'm an idiot.
But they are.
I'm not editing that out.
Let's be honest, they are the Expendables. Because Arnie's muscles in this film.
Oh, when Danny DeVito first sees him, he's like, "You're like a balloon. You're just gonna blow up." Holy shit, this guy's ripped, isn't he?
It's frankly, it's scary.
It is,
and it's the
scary.
reason that I would probably suggest couples don't watch this film.
No,
because you were going to feel immensely emasculated.
Very emasculated. Even me, I was watching this going, oh. And it's funny because he rips so many clothes in this film. There's so many t-shirts that just rip, and then when the girlfriend comes to the house and then Danny DeVito's like, oh, he's in the shower. She's like, and she sprints.
She's just like, I'm
runs.
taking these goddamn cookies and we're going into the shower right now.
How sexually provocative! I'll bring you some cookies in the shower. It's like, we know what's going on there.
By the way, though, that character is so inconsistent. Going back to the whole misogynist thing. She's a very beautiful woman.
She's very attractive. She's goddamn, she's very beautiful.
But here's the thing: she starts off the film saying she's got some sense about her. She's like, that Danny DeVito, he's a bad man.
My
sister,
not wrong.
Stay away.
Yeah.
Sound advice.
Mm.
She meets some Austrian hunk with a Playboy magazine
Yeah.
and goes, "I'm yours. I'll bake you cookies.
That's right. Yeah,
the
'cause
next
he's
time I see you,
holding porn,
I'll,
and
I'll,
he's like, I didn't know they had these girls.
It's so inconsistent.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know what a, like, I don't know.
And he like, sure, his whole thing is that he respects women.
Yeah.
And that line.
Okay, this is the best line in the movie. Okay, so when they walk into the house, and then Danny DeVito and him are chatting, and then Arnold's like, I have the highest respect for women, and then Danny DeVito kind of turns, he's like, you're a virgin. Dude, I fucking snorted. I very rarely snort when I laugh, but I haven't laughed at a line like that in ages. That's the funniest shit. Of course you'd have respect for women being a virgin.
Oh,
it's like,
man.
It's the most Danny DeVito thing he could have said just then, and it's so sexist, but it's just so funny. Like,
Speaking of best lines,
Yeah.
I've got a couple that I had a bit of a snort on as well.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
You're carrying over from our 7 seasons.
Oh my god.
If only we saw this before, like...
When Arnold says in his first kind of fight scene, when he's
some great fights, isn't it?
oh my god. So when the guy goes for the axe and whatnot, that fight scene where he's
Oh,
protecting
It's
Danny.
like that escalates quickly,
It
doesn't it?
does escalate quickly. When he holds the guy up, he says, "You have no respect for logic." Just randomly in the middle of this fight.
What?
I laughed my ass off. Best quote, I love it. Until
Makes no sense.
until he gets angry and bursts into the doctor's office and says, "Hey, dickhead, tell us where our mother is."
It's like Tommy Wiseau level, like...
It's beautiful.
It's so good.
It's extraordinary.
He's like a ripped Tommy Wiseau now I think about it, like...
Are you saying Tommy Wiseau isn't ripped? Have
Oh,
you seen The Room?
I beg
Have you
my
seen that
pardon.
humping into the belly button? Oh my god.
Oh my goodness.
Oh
Oh,
god.
if they did it triplets and they made Tommy Wiseau the third brother. Fuck, that'd be amazing.
The sequel, dude. They need to make it happen.
They need to make it happen. with
Tommy's
Tommy
available. I'm
Wiseau.
sure he's available.
He would. Oh, fuck, I'd love to see that. But like, it's so funny, and like, he has great moments. Like, I love it when he lifts the car, and that looks like it was a real thing that he did. Do you reckon he really lifted that car?
We will get to that in making movies.
Okay. I hear you.
We will get to that in
I
making
hear you.
movies.
Then could I?
We don't want to spoil that in the spoiler section.
No,
we don't need
No, we really don't, do we?
Um,
But what about also, dude? The best stunt in the whole film is when that car balances on 2 wheels.
Incredible.
That came out
Absolutely
of nowhere,
incredible.
didn't it?
Oh, and
he just learns how
again,
to drive.
Arnold's face. He just sells
Like,
it. But come on, if you were doing that,
I'd do the same thing. I'd be like,
mate, you'd be all over it.
Because it goes for so long. And then Danny DeVito, he doesn't react at all. He's just like, you show off. Don't show off, Arnold. That reminds me, speaking of cars, this is a very inside joke for you and me. Did you freak when they both started using their car phones?
Oh my god!
Did you
I
lose
did.
your shit?
I did. I did. And just
Just
for
let
our
the
listeners out there,
know why you'd have lost it.
my car that I have currently
Brendan's current car
was made in the early 90s.
Mm.
It has a phone in it.
Brenton has a car phone where it's like this like old 90s, like the phone's the size of his fucking head and it's like sitting in between the 2 front seats and it's glued in there.
And you just lift it out and you're away.
And you can make a phone call.
You can have a chat.
And whenever Brenton gives me a lift in his car now and then, like I pick it up and I'm like, oh, this is so cool. Like your phone
It's very cool. But it's a plot point.
They
in this
use
film.
it in this
They
movie.
use it. And it's oh my god, it's wonderful.
Isn't it great?
It's
When I
wonderful
saw
that scene.
I was like, fucking hell, Brenton. Like,
Oh my god.
I was so excited. But that's only just for us. I don't think that's very much for our listeners.
I think we need to talk about. I want to talk about a couple of things, but I'll quickly say this: when you said that there's 2 plots in this film, that's very true.
Yes.
But the more I'm thinking about this, the more it's even more. It's like there's like 20 films in this film because every scene is
Vignettes.
so random.
Isn't it
It's so
though?
random.
Beautifully random.
The shopping scene, the learning how to dance scene, the actual dance scene when they're at the bar. And they do this routine with these 2 girls.
And it's like a full routine. Like,
the camera just stays with them.
and they both grab the girls' asses at the same time and they're like, ooh, like it's just...
And Danny DeVito's trying to like sell it like this is kind of a normal dance, but it's totally
It's
not.
so not, no. And then, like, the weird henchmen rock up and, like...
Oh, my
and
God.
they get beaten up. And also, by the way, so the henchmen rock up at the dance, they get beaten up by Arnold Schwarzenegger, and then they both collapse on the ground. And the crowd fucking applauds.
And then they keep dancing over this guy's presumably corpse.
Exactly. But also, like, for all the crowd knows, they have no idea what the context of that scene was.
Exactly.
So, for all they know, they could have just been, like, assault. Like, Arnold could have just, like, punched up. By the way, they're in bandages, so for all they know, Arnold could have been the one to do that before.
Yeah, like beating a cripple.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, that's awful.
It's like the time back in the 80s where for some reason everyone was allowed to punch everyone.
And also, Danny DeVito then grabs a guitar from a hard-working band.
Yeah!
That is, you know, working for their money, and he smashes
"Fuck
and
it."
breaks this guitar on this gentleman's head. Like I said, these people are horrible.
These people are so,
Like, I know-
so bad.
And speaking of horrible people, as much as, you know, we know Danny DeVito, he's established as a horrible man.
Yes.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is meant to be the guy with the moral conscience.
Yes.
But he does some pretty bad shit in this movie.
Do go on.
He does steal a car.
He does steal a car.
He does steal
He
a
doesn't
car.
even bat an eyelash when he does it. He's just
I know.
like...
He says, then I went back and explained the situation. It was all okay. And I was like, you should be in prison.
You should be in prison, yeah. It's like... Oh, no, he's...
But the biggest plot hole
Of course.
is the plot, kind of. We won't delve into this too much, but I just want to say it. I did mention it at the very start of the show. Danny DeVito, it's established, the film does a good job. It establishes that exposition perfectly. It shows that he goes to the airport. He's got a thing going with the gatekeeper at the airport car park, and he'll get a good car and he'll take it to a car broker and he'll sell it and make some cash.
I know where you're going with this.
He does it straight away.
Yes.
He does it straight away. He gets that car. He doesn't want to be caught with it. He drives it to that car brokership, sells it. It's gone. He gets his cash. He's happy, man.
Like, within the hour.
The car that kind of this whole film's plot centers around, that has an object in the back trunk, a jet
Like
engine.
a jet fuel or something like
I have
that.
no
Oh,
idea.
Who knows?
But he takes it home and drives around with it for a couple days before he notices a tape that ultimately leads to the plot of
the $5 million, yeah.
But why doesn't he just sell the car? Anyway.
Yeah, actually, that's weird that he doesn't do that.
That's the biggest plot point.
I thought you were going to go the direction where, like, he has this guy that works at this airport car park, and if this is, like, Danny DeVito's main source of income, how are there all these cars are disappearing from the one fucking car park?
This is true.
And is no one noticing that there's just this one car park, all these cars are disappearing?
And it's always on this one guy's shift.
Yeah, exactly. Like, how is someone not on top of this? It's
like, dude, you got your security cameras. What's happening? He dies, though.
He does die.
That guy dies.
Yeah.
Like, this is all, like, again, I think the guy playing the assassin...
He's like the protagonist of this film.
Decent actor.
Oh, I don't think he's a great actor.
Yeah, he's not great, but he's decent with what he's given in this film.
Maybe.
He kills many innocent people.
He
in this
really
movie.
shoots a lot. You know what I really dislike about his thing? There's one thing I hate and there's one thing I love. The thing that I really hate is how shittily directed it is when he's in Danny DeVito's house. Because it could have been a great tense moment of cinema, but Ivan Reitman just did such a boring job with it. Where like the henchmen walk in, and then he's just like, "Oh, I'm here to feed the cat," and then he just like shoots him in the legs, and he's like, "Don't mess with Danny DeVito," and he just walks out. It's such a boring scene.
Yeah,
like nothing. Like it could have been like almost like Inglourious Basterds, just tension and like, is he gonna shoot like a western?
Yeah.
But just nothing.
I totally
nothing.
agree. Yeah.
But one thing I love about that storyline is his death. Because it's...
Oh my god.
It might be the best moment in the movie because, Arnold Schwarzenegger pulls the lever and this, like, chainmail in this, like, factory just starts to fall down on top of him. But then it just keeps falling for, like, a whole minute.
This pile of chain is, like, 6 feet high by its done. That guy is
like
dead.
A mountain.
That guy is deceased.
Where did because you watch this chain fall down, and you think it's just, like, one loose chain on this, like, thing. But there's just, like, hundreds of meters worth of chain that just falls on top of this guy.
I mean, it's incredible.
And it's so slow, and it goes for so long. And this is a fucking mountain of chain.
And, like, the look of pure joy as this is happening from Danny DeVito is kind of disturbing, but it's hilarious at the same time.
Oh, it's so great, isn't it?
Oh, man.
I love it.
Speaking of tension, though, and tension, a missed opportunity for tension.
Oh, good segue.
There's some real tension in this movie.
Oh, isn't there?
And it revolves around Danny DeVito.
Mm-hmm.
When they go to the mother's estate.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And they meet the mother that's pretending not to be the mother.
That's right, yeah.
And there's the moment where they first turn around and they say, well, we're her sons, like, we're her twins. the delivery of that line and like the build up to it, because they're looking at each other and it's something that's so ridiculous and whatnot. But they deliver the line, and DeVito delivers it so earnestly that I had a moment of like, because obviously I knew this woman is the mother, and she's bullshitting them when she says she's not.
Yeah, you know.
But I just had this moment of tension when he tells them that there has, and then when she says that she's not, and how it breaks them.
Oh God, you feel for him, don't you?
You feel for them.
Also,
there's also. Oh, you go.
I was just gonna say she's a dick. Like, I'm not a fan of the mother, because when like
Me
she's
either,
like,
yeah.
walking around the place, and then they're like, "Oh, where is she?" And then she's like, "Oh, she's dead." And they're like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, I meant she's here in spirit." I'm like, you wanker! You know exactly what they meant when they said, "Is she here?" Like, "Oh, she's here in spirit."
And she spins that lie just on the spot.
Yeah, you can tell it's a shitty lie because
Yeah.
it's like, she's here in spirit. I'm like, come on, it's like that's a bad move.
Speaking of
I love when she
tension,
punches the scientist. That's great.
wow, that's too much. Speaking of the scientist, tension that is kind of random. He hates Danny DeVito.
He's such a dick to him too. Speaking of dicks, God, like when he walks Arnold and Danny around like the factory where they were born, he's just like, "Arnold, you're this perfect man. You're just God's creation. Like you're the best human ever made." And we'll get to that as well. And then he's like to Danny DeVito, "You're just a pile of shit. Like you're just leftover garbage."
And just says like everything that's wrong with him.
It's
like,
so hard on him. You're just like, what are you gaining from this? Why are you telling this poor man this? He's like, I thought every character's like the nun and everything's like, I thought they'd be in jail right now. It's like he's not like Danny DeVito's bad, but he's not that bad.
He's
like,
and he's if
enduring.
anything, he's a direct like victim/result of this scientist's work.
Yeah, you're responsible
Screw
for this
you.
dickhead.
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly.
He's just such a wanker. I'm just like, I just wasn't liking him at all.
Just a quick note. The term sperm milkshake never needs to be used again in cinema. That's all. Continue.
But also going on top of that, like one of my biggest questions is, what's the point? Why was this happening in the first place? Like I was like, they gathered the 6 men together to make this like perfect man, and he went on this island. It's like,
so they made this person man who like just helped with some study on an island. He then went to the mainland and found like this, basically like this down in his luck douchebag. And then he marries and has children with this random woman that saw him with a porn magazine and wanted to make cookies and have babies.
Yeah, like that's
and he's got no source of income. He can't really drive a car. It's a miracle he's still alive by the end of this film.
I'm more focused. I'm more focused on it. Yeah, like there's the plot, but I'm just more focused on why did they make Arnold Schwarzenegger in the first place?
But that's my point. What is the end goal of making this man?
Like this perfect man and this
they let him go
human,
to do nothing.
Like he doesn't serve in the military. Like he's not Captain America where they need a perfect soldier. They're just like, we want to make a perfect man and then let him loose in the wild. Like they would have spent lots of money on this. I'm like, why? Like I was so confused as to like why Arnold was Arnold in the first place.
Here's an idea. Here's an option for how it could work.
Brendan.
I'm gonna pitch you this.
Ooh.
So the whole film is a conspiracy hatched by the scientist.
Okay.
The two scientists. The scientist that fathers Arnold.
Yeah.
And they know that the Benedict... What's the douchebag's name that ends up dying that is the guy that wants the jet engine?
Oh,
is it
fuck if I know.
Benedict or something?
He's some assassin. We'll call him the assassin.
No. The guy that the assassin ends up killing, the guy with the money, the guy with the $5 million, the business guy that's like the Texas cowboy.
Yeah, that's right. He's that random boy.
So they know that he's doing the wrong thing and he's stolen a jet engine, and they know that like eventually he's going to come unstuck.
Yeah.
And they want Arnie in there to be involved. And they set up the whole thing so that Arnie saves the day and manages to thwart this guy and give back that jet engine to the people that deserve it. Twiins. It's a real film.
I just don't know what they were on.
Oh, look,
look,
it makes no sense. Yeah.
I like at the end though how Danny DeVito like kept $1 million when he's like $4 million, and you're just like, oh, he kept the money. Oh, actually, that's one of my favorite scenes in the movie. Actually, that is my favorite scene in the movie when Danny DeVito first finds out the $5 million. That's the best delivery of a line I've seen in a long time.
$5 million
he says
over and
like
over again,
20 times,
and then it repeats later on when he finally gets the $5 million and he starts going $5 million, and then it's a great moment. It's $5 million, cut off by gunshots. Yeah, it's great.
But like that first scene in his house where he's just going, it's like $5 million, $5 million, $5 million. Like, it just cuts to all these different variations, and it's just got one long hard take of him, and I'm like, this is his best acting. Like, I was
Danny DeVito, like,
I was patting him on the back for that. I was like, well done.
Wonderful.
One random thing I love, is this not the best birthday cake you've ever seen in cinema?
It's incredible.
Dude, when she whips out the birthday cake for Danny DeVito, I lost my shit. I was like, this is the best birthday cake I have ever seen in my life. It's got fucking dinosaurs. It's got motorcycles on it.
So, just for our listeners, now you know, when we do Nathan's birthday episode, you know what to send us.
Yes! Oh my god. It was seriously when I thought Hagrid's cake in Philosopher's Stone was good. Nah, this cake shits on it.
Oh, really? I don't know about that. It's pretty good, but I want to taste some of that Hagrid ass cake. You know what I mean? Like,
because you want to know how long he's had it for, like where it's been.
No, but like, to me, that cake just looks good in Harry Potter. You know what I'm saying? The pink icing looks good with the green writing.
Dude, this one has a fucking T-Rex. Like, come on.
Dude, it's pretty impressive.
Or maybe it's not a T-Rex, maybe it's a different dinosaur, but like, I want it either way. Like,
by the way, listeners, I am fully aware that I just said I wanted Hagrid's ass cake, and I am terribly embarrassed by it.
We got some great quotes. I should really start snipping these together. Like,
this is terrible. That's the worst. That is the worst thing I've said on the podcast.
You said some pretty bad things.
I mean, you should probably fire me right now. Yeah.
You know, we both don't have that power over each other. Like, it's kind of like
I'll fire myself after that one. Yeah.
I think we work like a Western. Like, we both have to fire at the same time. Like, it's like a standoff. Like, we both have to pull the trigger at once.
Mexican standoff, and then classic movie banter will come to an end.
Oh my god! Exactly. Yeah. One thing I was confused about at the end. Why is like Werner with them taking the photo?
I don't know.
I feel like they all hated him, and then he's the one taking. No.
He is a different doctor. He is the guy that raised Arnold.
Oh,
he's the narrator from the start that raised Arnold. It's not.
So I got so confused by that. I was like, I thought this was like
no.
Rumble.
Speaking of the ending, perfect ending.
Oh, here we go.
The twins marry two sisters, and then they both birth twins.
There's something weird about that.
And they all go on outings together.
Yeah, I don't know about that. It's not incestuous, but like I feel like they're toying with it.
It's just odd. But the last still shot of the family photo.
Oh,
perfect.
What a way to finish.
What a way to finish.
And what a great song to go over the credits as well.
Oh my god, yes.
Oh, it's a great song. It's one of those like uplifting 80s like beat songs. You're just like, oh. Brenton, I want to bring back a reoccurring segment that we sometimes have on this show. And
bring it back.
Brenton, which two characters should have kissed?
You brought it up, so you start, and because I have an instant answer, but
my instant answer is Arnold and Danny. Like,
well, that's mine as well. Yeah.
I reckon at some point they should have just like they could have. You know what I would have loved if they both tried sleeping with the girls and for some reason it just didn't work out, and then just like.
Well, they had the moment where like it was like they had the dance kind of thing at the pub, and then it just kind of cuts back to them both in a room together. It's so they're not, it's not going to go that way. They're not going to sleep with the girls or whatever.
Yeah, they're just
going to have a nice brotherly moment together. Maybe, Nathan.
Maybe. Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah, but Arnold looks as though he could have kissed anyone in that film, frankly. Like,
true. Well, there's a scene in the bathroom as well where he just gives him the biggest bear hug and like lifts him up and carries him. And like one guy walks in, is just like, this is messed. No thanks.
But also that flight attendant when Arnold's like flying. Like,
oh my god!
Remember her?
Yeah. But what is with Arnold singing?
He's like
in this
singing
movie?
like out loud, like and then like she leans in. I was just waiting for him to pull the headphones out and just like pluck one on her. Then like,
I know, right? But what is with Arnold singing? He sings in the shower.
Yeah, he does it a lot, doesn't he?
It's terrible singing.
It's really shit singing.
It's like, endearing work.
Six different sperms couldn't give him one good pair of vocal cords. Like. So, how did they make this movie, Brenton?
Making movies. How'd they do it? So, do you have any little facts to kick us off, Nathan?
Embarrassingly, I didn't do that much research, Brenton. I don't know about you.
I've got a good place to start.
Oh, cool.
I've got an answer to the spoiler that we brought up before.
Oh, of course, yes. The famous lifting car scene.
Arnold Schwarzenegger lifted up the back of the car by himself.
That is insanity. That is absolutely bonkers.
What a beast of a man.
Do you reckon that's for him justified why he got so ripped for this film? Like, he's obviously ripped all the time, but like he's probably thinking, no, I have to need to lift a car for this movie.
Oh, I mean,
That's insane.
Incredible.
And you gasp when you watch this movie because you know he really did that. Like, that's one thing I love about these old movies. Like all the stunts in this, like the two-wheel cast iron as well, they just genuinely did.
Yeah.
Like, you just respect it so much you just don't get from films these days. Give me another fact!
I will continue. Arnold Schwarzenegger went on record to state that the film was the best decision he ever made. Furthermore, he had been wanting to do a comedy for years after several action movies, and Twiins was his first opportunity. Also, after the surprise success of the film, Arnold Schwarzenegger requested to start getting comedy scripts sent to him all the time. He's there's another one that he's also gone on record to say. There's another moment that Arnold Schwarzenegger also said that he went on record to state that the film was the best decision he's ever made.
What's that?
Twiins.
Doing
Twiins, yeah.
Doing Twiins. And obviously, because Arnold has a long career in comedies after this
That's
movie.
right,
Like,
yeah.
he does a lot of comedies. Like, does this make you want to watch Kindergarten Cop now?
Oh my god, yes.
I really want.
Oh my god, yes.
What's that one famous thing from Kindergarten Cop where he's like, "Shut up," you know?
Yeah.
That's from
But
it.
he looks like he's having the time of his life. You know what I mean?
Just
And
the '90s, man.
it
Like,
just
what
makes
a
me
time.
happy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That like this kind of opened that door for him. Good on you, Arnold.
Good on you, Arnold. I'm glad this film exists. Like, yeah. There is a sequel in the works, Brenton.
Are you kidding me?
The actually in 2018, I think, or something like that. Like, oh wait, this year. Yeah, that's right. They've finished a script. They're going to call it Triplets, and it's about Danny DeVito, Arnold Schwarzenegger having another twin war triplet. It's played by Eddie Murphy.
Are you kidding me?
This is a real thing that's going to happen. This is an absolute real thing.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not. Look this up. This is real.
Oh my golly gosh.
They're going to do a sequel. It's going to be out in a couple years. Like, it's very close to happening. And they finally finished the script. They love it. Ivan Reitman loves it. He's producing it. And they're going to make this movie. And it's about the three of them. And
This is beautiful.
And Eddie Murphy rocks up. And it's the three of them as triplets.
I'm so glad that I've watched this film now. Because now I am just incredibly excited for the sequel.
Isn't it fantastic?
Oh my god.
Just to know this is a thing that will exist. Like,
That is so awesome. Oh man.
do you know this is actually one of the highest grossing films of this year? Like, it took...
I knew it went well, but I didn't know it was one of the highest of the year. Wow.
So it only cost $11 million to make, which is actually not that bad when you think about it. And it grossed 216. Like, that's insane. And Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger, they didn't get paid for the movie. They chose instead to have 10% of the box office each. Yeah, because they thought this one's going to be insanely huge, which means they would have earned each $20 million.
Oh, wow.
$21 million.
No wonder
Each.
Arnold Schwarzenegger has gone on record to say this is the best decision he's ever made.
Yeah, financially, absolutely. It's been the best decision.
Incredible.
It's crazy,
Wow.
isn't it? Also, I want to point out something with production. They filmed this, Brenton. So you know a little bit about Hollywood turnaround. So they filmed this from April to August 1988. Then it got released in December.
Wow. You can totally tell that, though.
Yeah.
The way it's edited, the way it's put together.
Like, from when the day production finished, this film came out 3 months after.
Holy crap.
That is insanity in Hollywood. Like, that is bonkers. Like, Hollywood films these days, they normally wrap like a year before the film comes out. Like,
That is
amazing.
crazy.
Like, that is A+ for that. If you know how movies get made, like, that is a remarkable achievement in itself. What else? Have you got anything else, buddy?
This is really interesting. Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito's character names are Julius and Vincent, respectively.
Wait, is this a Pulp Fiction reference?
In 1994, Samuel L. Jackson and John Travolta played Jules and Vincent respectively in Quentin Tarantino's Pulp Fiction,
I just realised that.
which Danny DeVito produced.
No. Is that deliberate?
I have no idea.
Oh my...
I'm just throwing it out.
Literally, as you said those two names together out loud for the first time, I just before then realised that it's Pulp Fiction. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
What?
How weird is that? Like, yeah.
Well, Pulp Fiction came out 95 or something like that, so it would have been 7 years after. That's...
The last thing I just wanted to say was, you know that scene where your favourite moment of Arnold's face when he's on the side of the car and it's like on the two wheels?
Oh, yeah.
That was Arnold's favourite scene to shoot.
He would have loved it. Like,
Oh my god, you can tell.
you can tell.
A genuine reaction.
Like, his happiness is just so contagious with this, isn't it?
Yeah.
Love it. So, hey,
Hey,
let's look at this film's poster.
Let's take a look.
Let's take a look. All right. So for those who don't have it in front of them, what it is basically it's clouds, Brenton. It's a blue sky with clouds in the background, and you got in a big yellow font at the top of it. It says Twiins, and above it says Schwarzenegger and DeVito, and you have the two of them in their classic suits that they wear later on in the film, which are both great suits, aren't they?
Oh,
and they're in their sunnies, and it has Danny DeVito doing the classic poster trope of leaning on one of the other main characters, which is just in every bloody movie poster since this film, with the tagline, "Only their mother can tell them apart."
I've got mixed feelings.
I agree, actually.
I like the stance they have. I like that he's leaning on him. I like the title. I like the slogan, so to speak. I hate that it's... Why are they on blue sky and clouds?
Thank you. I was thinking the exact same thing.
Why? Why can't it just be on some street? Why can't it just be... Or them in a hospital or something? I don't know. It would be great
if maybe they were on the dance floor.
Yeah. Or like even like when they're doing that walk down the streets where they have those suits.
Yeah.
And it's like just them out in society.
And like people are looking at them like quizzically like, yeah, that would have been great.
Yeah. It's not bad. It's just, it's not...
If someone can like re-edit the background and put them in, like in the street or something like that.
Also, if you're going to have in the film's title that plays at the start, twins with two eyes. I want the twins with two eyes on the poster, man.
Also, by the way, where it says, only their mother can tell them apart. No, that has absolutely nothing to do with the movie. Their mother's never mentioned. Like, it's... Like, until much later on in the movie. Like, it makes this sound like she's a main character, if you mention it in the tagline.
True, but you got to admit, it's a funny line.
I mean, you're right.
Remember, nothing in this film makes sense, and everything's random and misplaced.
No, it's true.
It's actually perfect.
And speaking of perfection, title talk.
Need we say it anymore? No, like, it's just...
What else would you have called this thing?
Nailed it, guys.
No, no, you wanted the twins to have two eyes. If that's how you would improve it.
On the poster, yeah.
But the actual official film's title, would you have wanted it to have two eyes?
Yeah.
Yeah. I could see in your face. You were thinking no, but then your face changed and you're like, yeah.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Yeah, I agree. I reckon that would have been funnier. Like, there's nothing to lose by doing it. Like,
no.
It would just be like for a Google search, people would have to keep remembering to type in two eyes.
However, it is a good title. We will give them that.
Yeah, it is actually a good title. I wouldn't have changed it at all. Yeah, so...
Yeah, wonderful.
So, should we pass it to the people?
Power! Power to the people.
Let's pass it to the people.
No, I'm looking at this tomato meter.
The Rotten Tomato score, Brenton, what is it?
It's 37%.
It's 37%? I think this is one of the lowest scores we've had since Emerald City.
It's not that hurts me, though. It's the audience score.
Audience score only gave it a 39.
What's wrong with you monsters?
Can you see, Brenton, why I toyed with giving it a thumbs up?
I love that we both gave it a thumbs up.
You bullied me into it, frankly.
We need to do a review on Rotten Tomatoes.
We actually should. We should write one.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely write one up.
But until then, Kathy Burke from United Press International gave it a positive.
Mm-hmm.
Gave it a tomato. Said, no matter what your thoughts are of the plot and its execution, the picture of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito dressed up in identical linen suits and shades will keep you laughing.
She's got a point.
Ha. She has got a point.
She has got a point. And she's right. I mean, I think that's like the whole premise. I think that's what they decided on at the start. Like,
yeah, it's twins. Danny DeVito, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Who else would you have loved to see play these twins? What are some great twin pairings we can?
Okay.
It's almost like you know what? Jump Street with Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill playing brothers.
For sure.
I reckon that's a homage to Twins. Now I think about it.
Definitely. All right, let's.
Because they're like, this is your brothers. Like,
let's throw some ideas around though. That's fun.
Yeah.
Steve Buscemi and
Brad Pitt.
Nailed it. Nailed it. You go first now.
I'm gonna flip the gender.
Yep.
I'm gonna go Melissa McCarthy
and Winona Ryder.
Yes. I would love to see that pairing. I would love to see that.
Yes.
Oh, that'd be amazing. I want to see you know it'd be great. I want to see Rupert Grint and a dog.
Oh. Yes, please.
Him and a dog, and they're twins, and you don't know how, but they're twins.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's actual twins.
Okay.
Like something that if they're kind of identical.
Okay.
Elijah Wood.
And Daniel Radcliffe?
You nailed it.
Oh, I would love... The funny thing is that they would do that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like, that's what they should do with... They should have a celebrity parody film where it's like Samuel L. Jackson and Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Or like, can you imagine Samuel L. Jackson and Eddie Murphy?
Oh, that'd
doing
be
something
great.
together. Like, yeah.
Oh, that'd be so good.
Wow.
I would love like I want it has to be they have to be absolute opposites for it to work.
Other twins.
Like it'd be great. Like I want to see like Eddie Redmayne from Jupiter Ascending and Eddie Redmayne from Fantastic Beasts.
Oh my god.
He
Yes.
just does a dual role. Like
Oh my god. Or like this is bad. Eddie Redmayne from The Danish Girl.
oh,
And Eddie Redmayne from Jupiter Ascending.
that would be. It's like, what does he say? I live and destroy.
Oh, dude, I haven't even seen Jupiter's Ascending, but I've seen the go scene.
Do you want to do it for me?
Go!
Oh, it's great. See, there's just so many possible. They should do a sequel where they Anchorman tune it, where they just escalate it insanely.
Yeah.
Like an Anchorman 2 where there's all these different newscasters. They should just have like all these different twins. Just so many different combos. Can you please tweet at us, listeners, what combos you'd want for twins?
Just twins.
Just tweet at us, write in the comments, send us emails. I want to know your favorite combinations because that would genuinely make my day and make me giggle.
It'd be incredible.
Oh, it'd be amazing.
Absolutely incredible.
Andrea Beach, she didn't like it. She said, a silly 80s mismatched sibling story has profanity and violence.
Yep.
Does it have that much profanity and violence?
No,
I mean,
not necessarily.
It's definitely more than you expect, but like certainly not that. There's no F-bombs or anything like that.
No. Another review, Reitman, one of the highest grossing directors of all time, has made a career peddling brain-dead schlock, but this tiresome gruel is even below his ground-level standards. Before you say anything about the content of this review, well, I'm actually going to talk about the content of the review, but let's talk about just the wordplay here. Peddling brain-dead schlock, tiresome gruel, below ground-level standards. That's a great review.
That's an excellent review,
That's
isn't
well
it?
done.
This is what proper movie reviewers do.
Oh, like
ones that
that's-
aren't you and me.
That's some good stuff.
They have a strong command of the
we
English
just
language.
we just compare Eddie Redmayne performances and imagine if they were twins.
This is why we have passed it to the people, so we can actually hear what real critics are saying.
Oh.
But it's funny because you think of Ivan Reitman films because he's done like Meatballs, he's done Stripes, he's done Ghostbusters,
Yes.
which is probably his most famous one. Then he did Twins, and he did Kindergarten Cop. Then he did Dave, then he did Junior.
Yes.
So like he has made very for the masses kind of films. Out of all of them, Ghostbusters is obviously the best, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've seen both Ghostbusters?
No, yeah. But I have fun with this still.
Yeah.
I have lots of fun with this.
Ghostbusters is better though, isn't it?
Oh, it's a better film.
Oh, remarkably, yeah.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen Kindergarten Cop or Junior?
No.
No. After seeing this, do you now want to see Kindergarten Cop and Junior?
I'm going to do a marathon.
Oh, mate. We'll do it. We'll do a triple bill.
Gregory
Weisenkuff?
says this movie improves with depression.
I mean, thankfully we
wow.
both don't have it, but maybe if we sadly ever fall into it, we'll give this a watch and let you know.
Yeah.
Jeffrey M. Anderson from the San Francisco Exclaimer said, an idea that began and ended with the casting session.
He's not wrong there.
He's not wrong at all, frankly.
Tyler S., 2 stars. No. That was an ellipsis. Fun idea. Memorable scenes. Solid actors. But no. Tell us why, Taylor S.
But no.
Is no the only... Like, just give us more. Give us
Maybe
more
he's
in that
ducky.
review.
Maybe he's like, nope. Jesse K gave it 1.5 stars. Goodness, people aren't kind to this.
Oof.
Jesse said, what's the deal with Hollywood super hack Ivan Reitman? What's his major deal?
Hey, what's your deal, Jesse K?
Yeah, Jesse. Okay. Jesse's not okay if you ask me.
Syed Rizvi said, need a reboot with The Rock and Kevin Hart. Look, like, you're not wrong.
That'd be great.
I don't know if it
they've
needs to
already
be
made this movie.
I don't think it needs a reboot. They have, kind of.
Yeah, what was that one they did? Like
The one where, like, Dwayne The Rock Johnson was the high school kind of... He was a chubby guy in high school, and then he's kind of become this secret agent. I can't remember the name of the film, but I had a good time.
Yeah. Good on him. Bennett Dudley on YouTube wrote, The Terminator and the Penguin as twin brothers? How did I not hear of this sooner?
I totally agree. Like, I mean, hang on a second. I'd heard about it, though. But
yeah.
I didn't think the execution was going to be...
You never had the inclination to see it.
This incredible.
Yeah.
Crazy Like a Tiger. I love this movie. Could have been a TV series. TV series.
He spelled series with an A on the end, hence
It's
Brenton's
okay.
confusion.
It's okay.
This would have been great as a TV series, don't you reckon? Like the old shenanigans of them.
I can't agree with that. maybe.
Actually, it would have been too much of a good thing, maybe. Yeah.
Ooh. I think it would have overstayed its welcome.
Actually, yeah. Crazy like a tiger. You are quite crazy, aren't you?
Oh,
so we passed it to the people, Brenton.
Oof. What an episode.
What a great episode.
What a time to be alive.
Well done to us.
It's been a good time.
I was surprised at Twiins.
I was too. Yeah.
You know what? The more we've talked about it, I'm glad now I suck with a thumbs up because it's a fun time, isn't it?
That's gonna stay there, on our kind of, on our film critic resume, that we both gave thumbs up, and we may regret it.
I feel this has immediately robbed us of our credibility. Actually, no, we robbed our credibility like the first episode we ever did.
I think before that.
Let's not use this podcast as an excuse, frankly.
But
the reason I probably
did
it as well is because next episode's episode 30, so we would have reviewed the last 10, so I could have just changed it immediately.
That is true, but I hope you do not.
No, I won't.
Yeah.
Ooh, or will I? Tune in next week.
Tune in next week, and I was going to say, even though we have ruined our credibility, just please support us because obviously we need it because we
need it so much. We we'd love it when we hear from you guys so much. Like every time we get a tweet or we get an email, Brent and I get giddy and we all share it with each other.
It genuinely warms my heart.
It's so good, and for people who rate us 5 stars on iTunes and write the comments on iTunes or SoundCloud or YouTube, it
goes a long way.
Cool.
Yeah,
it goes so cool. You're so much cooler than us. Frankly, you should be on the show.
Yes.
Record yourself watching a movie, then send it in to us. We'll play it over the top.
Yeah, while our episode plays underneath, so it's just a jumbled, garbled mess.
Yeah.
But
it'll
you'll
still be better than
appreciate
Emerald City, though.
Fun times, Nathan.
All right, well, it's time to go back to New Mexico and paint as we get old with our mother.
Yo, that sounds pretty good, but I'm gonna steal a car first.
Okay. Twiins!